Whilst it is important to always strive to become a better person each day, we do in fact compete with others. Humans are animals, and like all animals, we compete for resources, whether that's for a job or a market share in a given business, or even women. And whilst we do want to be a better man or person than who we were yesterday or last month, making the mental switch to being conscious of the competition is what can really take you to the next level. Think of your business, pursuit, job or goal as a marathon. Now, who or what exactly is your competition? Who is competing with you to achieve this goal? If you are an elite world-class marathon runner, your competition is going to be other elites, other people who have been in the game for as long as you have, other people who are great enough to be at the top of the world in ability and experience. Cristiano Ronaldo, as one of the best football players in the world, is in competition with other elite level players who are also the best of the best. Cristiano has his Messi, LeBron has his Michael Jordan or whatever. The elite compete with the elite. And so if we flip this example, if we take someone like you who may be a small fry, if you are just beginning your journey to running your marathon, if you have beginner level ability and the experience, then who are you competing with? Well, if you have not played the game before, then you're not competing with the elites. You're just not competing with the world-class players yet. And I say this not to discourage you, but as a way to put what is meant by competition into perspective, so that you can use this information to fuel you and to not feel intimidated by the big players. This mentality is skill-based matchmaking, so don't worry about the people at the top of the game, because they are just in a different rank to you. They're in a different weight class. And so when you shift from believing that the top players are out to get you, when you stop telling yourself that the top players are stealing your resources, that they're stealing your clients, market share, women or viewers, that's when you can actually start to grow, because you stop letting insecurity and fear-mongering get the better of you and confine you into a box. Let me put it like this: if you spend 15 hours a day staring at a screen, if you can't do a push-up, if you get no women, if you have no money to your name, then you're in competition with other people like you. You are in competition with other average, should I say below average young men. And that's not an insult, because to beat all of your competition, all you need to do is put in bare minimum effort. The bar at this level is so ridiculously low. You're literally competing against people who don't exercise, who don't educate themselves, who don't save. If you tomorrow decide to read one page of a book to go on a 15-minute walk, you have already beaten the competition. You are now ahead. You are now winning. The bar is that low. It's too often that people measure up against others who are far out of their league, and this just does nothing for you but leave you riddled with doubt and insecurity. It is exactly this way of thinking that is unhealthy for you, because even though you're a small fish, you're not in a big pond. You're a small fish in a small pond. The big fish are not out to get you. They are not taking away from your ability to succeed. They are not taking your resources. This is what you have to understand. Don't let the big players make you feel hopeless. Again, if you started training for a marathon, your competition is going to be the other people around you who are also taking their first steps. You don't compete with the Olympians when you're not even an amateur yet. The key is to compete with others who are at a similar level to ourselves. And to get started, the bar is so low. And if you only take one thing, just one thing from this video, let it be this: because it is so easy, because winning is so easily accessible, you can be a winner today if you decide to take action here. Once you start winning, you can then level up and begin competing with higher level competitors. You are competing for greater rewards, for a greater goal. So naturally, it is going to be a bit harder. But the way you keep the snowball of wins rolling is also by competing with yourself. It ties into what I was talking about at the start. So when you get to the level when it starts to become a little bit more serious, you begin to progressively overload. You focus on being a better person than you were yesterday. As a martial artist, when I train, I'm not just thinking about the competition or the opponent, but I'm thinking about how I'm performing. Am I more explosive, or do I have more stamina than last month? Is my technique cleaner than it was last week? I'm thinking about if I'm trying harder, or am I pushing myself to the limit? Am I really trying here, or am I just coasting along? Merely staying at the level of believing that, I'm trying, I'm just trying to be the best possible version of me, I want to do better than I was last year, it's me against me, This is good, it's better than nothing, but on its own, this way of thinking doesn't motivate me nearly enough as visualizing the competition as actual people. It's the marriage of becoming a better person than you were yesterday and a healthy and conscious understanding of what you need to be doing every day to beat out the competition, beating yourself and beating the competition. You then level up to the next tier of opponents and you continue to stack these mental wins. You stack mental victories that over time really start to shape your belief system for the better. You stop seeing competition as something threatening and you start to see it as something that sharpens you. Because I say it again, competition is not there to crush you. It is not there to steal from you. Competition is a way to show you where you are right now. It reveals your weaknesses. It exposes when you're coasting. Competition shows you exactly where you still have room to grow. And again, when you start stacking small wins, when you start waking up on time, when you train when you don't feel like it, when you're doing the work when nobody is watching, this is where your identity begins to change. You stop thinking of yourself as someone trying to improve and you start to become someone who wins by default because you show up more consistently than the vast majority of people. And that's the part that nobody talks about, because you don't suddenly become an elite overnight. You just keep climbing, just keep on going, climbing up to new levels. And each level brings new standards, new pressure and new competition, and that's a good thing because it means you're moving forward. The goal isn't to feel like a winner forever. The goal isn't to feel like you've gotten to the peak of the mountain and you can just relax and enjoy the view. The goal is to keep leveling up until the things that once felt impossible become normal to you. And so eventually the people who you once look up to, they become your peers. Not because you were special, not because you got lucky, or not because they got lucky even, but because you kept showing up while most people stopped. And so I say this because I don't want you to be intimidated by these top players. They're not your competition, not yet. Your competition is who you were yesterday and the people at your level right now. The ones taking the same first steps, facing the same initial doubts. But yeah, to wrap up, you don't need to beat the world today. You don't need to conquer the earth in a week. You just need to improve enough to stay ahead of your old self and ahead of the people who refuse to grow. Because that's how progress works. Winning isn't a moment, it's a habit. And you can start building it today. Take the first steps and start winning.